Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the first time we've been out there. Trying to be no huddle, trying to go quickly. It's kind of a situation where it's before the half and just trying to play out, what types of plays we want to run, what type of throws we can and can't make in those situations. Obviously, when they get out of bounds, end of half, you want to make sure that you kind of have the ball last and use as much time as possible. At the same time, you want to be aggressive and try to score. So we went down there, just kind of taking what the defense was giving us, and Zay made a play in the back of the end zone, and that's kind of how that one went.
Josh, as we get into OTAs here, what was your mindset going into this one? Because it is a lot different than this time last year when you were a rookie. Now you're the guy.
Yeah.
How do you go into it?
So being in the same system for a year, having the verbiage down, having the same terminology, having the rapport that I do with Coach Daboll, I think it's been a huge help. Just going in, knowing what types of plays and concepts that I like. Dabes knows those, and then we kind of have a feel of what our receivers can and can't run. Not saying they can't run any routes, but what they're really good at. So going out there and finding out what the new guys can do and see what the younger tight ends can do. But it's complete 180 feeling from last year to this year. Obviously, having that year of experience under my belt now and being around the guys in the locker room and having such good relationships in here and then going out in the practice field and being able to talk a little bit to the defense and them talk to us back, but, at the same time, we're just trying to make each other better, trying to win football games for the Bills.
Individually, Josh, what was your top off-season priority, and how far do you think you've come in working on whatever that was?
Consistently delivering the ball where it needs to be. Ball placement is huge, especially in this league, the type of concepts that we have. Trying to get the ball to our playmakers where they can make some plays. So that was a huge emphasis. We're still working on it, and that's something that'll never change. You always want to try to work on ball placement, and every day you come out, it's kind of a new thing, and sometimes the ball is just coming off your hand a little differently, and you got to make adjustments and understand what your body's trying to tell you and trying to go with it. And like I said, just trying to get the ball to the playmakers because, we can't do anything if they don't have the ball in their hands.
How far ahead are you this year than you were, say, as a raw rookie?
Just as far as knowing the playbook, I'd say I'm leaps and bounds ahead. Just having, like I said, that year under my belt of the same system, that's huge for, a young quarterback especially. But, you look at some of the better quarterbacks in the league, they've been under their offensive coordinator for a few years. And that helps, just knowing what's going on. You don't really have to think about it. You're out there and you can play football.
What's it like having Frank Gore around in the huddle, around the meeting rooms and things like that?
It's awesome. Frank's an all-time pro. He's a future Hall of Fame running back. Just to have his presence in the locker room, how he speaks, what he plays for, kind of what he stands for, I'm super proud and happy the Buffalo Bills went out and got him because to have somebody whose work ethic and his story is so great like that, it's just unreal, and he got the opportunity to talk in front of the team. And I think if you didn't kind of know who he was and what type of person he was before then, you knew as soon as he started talking what type of person he was. And, that's why he's been in the league so long. That's why he's been so great for so many years. He's got that attitude and that right mentality for the NFL, and it's rubbing off on players. And I know we all love having him in the locker room.
What was the message that resonated with you when Frank stood up and spoke?
Just the resiliency that he's had in his lifetime. How the way he grew up, battling through injuries, obviously going to the U and having to, for a fight for a spot there, and just how he's done it in the league for so long. It's just unreal, and he's just an all-time pro. He is.
There is something new at center, probably not the guy you were expecting. You're expecting to work with Mitch. He's on the shelf for now. Just how are things going here with John there? Just the communication, the chemistry that you guys have.
Things are going really well. Whether it's John or Spencer, getting snaps from those guys. It doesn't really take long to get a good feel for being under the center. But they both know their stuff, really well. And it's fun to go out there and, obviously them being new and kind of finding out what types of players they are, what types of attitudes that they have, and talking with them in the locker room and off the field and outside the facilities and stuff like that, and getting to know them. Obviously two really great guys, and obviously Mitch is when he comes back, he'll be thrown in that mix too. So I'm super excited for that. I know Mitch isn't really going out, or he's been out there, and I've been able to get some snaps from him, but it hasn't been those live reps, if you will. But, we can still develop that relationship and that camaraderie off the field because he's playing. He's played in the league for, multiple years now, and, this isn't anything new to him. So we're just happy to have him and develop that relationship off the field.
Speaking of that level of relationship, it's very clear and evident on the field that you have it with Zay and Robert. How much does that lift your confidence level in being aggressive, as you were saying back when you were talking about 2 minutes, when you have those guys and the familiarity that you have from time on the field?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. Just knowing their body types, how they get in and get out of cuts. But I mean, having Robert and Zay, even Isaiah and Ray and some of the guys that we had last year, those relationships, they're just evolving even more so, and just kind of developing more trust. And obviously Cole's not out there with us right now, but still developing that relationship off the field. So when he gets on the field, the communication line is still open, and having John out here and being able to talk with him, because Cole and John are two guys that have been in the league for a while now, and they know how to play football. There's no rush to get them on the field right now. It is OTAs, and obviously we want to work on that, but developing that relationship and that chemistry is, I think, kind of what's most important in OTAs.
Hey, Josh, were you looking forward to catching, building a rapport with Cole and Croft and to not have them on the field?
I mean, like I said, this is a time where I think relationships are being made, and going back to the point, they've played football before. I've seen plenty of tape on them. It's different than in-game reps or in-practice reps, but just kind of talking with them, understanding what they, are thinking, and Cole's very, very communicative, and that's kind of the first thing he said to me when we first talked to each other. He's like, I'm going to let you know what I see, and I expect you to do the same, and that's kind of where the relationship, what type of level it needs to be on. So I think we've got a really good start, even though he's not on the field. I know he wishes he was, and I know that, Tyler was, had a little injury yesterday, and praying for a speedy recovery for him. But like I said, we've got these relationships off the field that are bonding already, and obviously as much as we'd like to have them on the field, it's just not going to happen until probably training camp.
Hey Josh, can you give a really early impression of Dawson Knox? I know you've only been out there for 2 prep. Just give us what you see and what you think he could possibly bring here.
I mean, he's going to bring, obviously, athleticism. He's a younger guy, but he knows his stuff, too. He's a very, very smart kid. I mean, you can tell that just by talking to him a little bit, and him in the huddle knowing where he's lining up, knowing what route he has to run, and he's not really asking any questions in the huddle, and that's a good thing, because he doesn't have to. He knows what he's doing. He runs really good routes. He's got very good athleticism for the tight end position.
Josh, talk about what's the number one thing you look to gain out of OTAs? What's the thing you want to gain?
I mean, obviously as a team, get bigger, faster, stronger, all those 3 things, but at the same time develop, these relationships off the field and kind of get to know each other. So when you get on the football field, you trust one another and you can go win football games.
Josh, you talked about relationships. Obviously, one that won't be here this year is Derek Anderson. Can you give us your reactions to him retiring? Also, early impressions of working with Ken Dorsey.
Yeah, obviously love DA, love what he brought for us last year. Got to learn a lot from him. Super sad that he's not coming back, but I understand the decision there. Long-time pro like that, and he was out playing golf last year, and then he came in and helped me out tremendously, especially. So I understand the decision. Wish he was back, but still, I text him, and he's an open line of communication for me as well, and he told me that, and I'll be sure to utilize him.
Josh, I know you have a close relationship already with Sam Darnold, but what was it like this year after your rookie years together to train and kind of share some experiences of going through what you both went through last year?
I mean, it was good. We try not to talk about a lot of football, but it comes up when we're on the field together and just kind of talking about experiences and different defenses that we played and how we kind of adapted and what we thought of them, and even going over just how our offenses were and like how we thought of our offense. And obviously he's in a different situation. He's got a new OC, a new head coach, and me being here with the Bills, and it's a good friendly relationship to have. And at the same time, we want to compete. We want to try to make each other better. That's kind of our goal in the offseason.
How important is it to you personally and to this team to have Jerry fused in the fold for another couple of years?
No, it's awesome. Jerry's one of the best guys in the locker room. He's a leader for us. The intensity that he brings every day is through the roof. So I'm glad he got a deal done. I'm glad we got him for a couple more years locked down. And, I think everybody in the locker room will say the same thing.